Merry Christmas. Welcome to a special edition of Win TV. I'm your host, Denise Rollard Barnes. We appreciate your support of Win TV, and we hope you enjoy the show today. While we're opening presents and enjoying the company of those in our bubble, and you all know what the bubble is. That's when, the people that you're normally around, you're still around, and you feel safe, even during this even during this pandemic. We still want you to remember that you need to social distance from those that are not in your bubble and prepare while you're preparing your holiday meals and relaxing. Hopefully you're doing that by now, or you'll be doing it soon. We'll be bringing you our Kwanzaa conversation with husband and wife team Stan Robinson and Rachel Etienne Robinson, founders of Substantial Arts and Music. We're also going to have Malachi Robinson, director of Creative Suitland, and program director Britt Barber to talk about Kwanzaa. But before then, Washington Informer reporter Hamil Harris will share the effort of the 7th District Metropolitan Police Department and their staff who distributed gifts to a Ward 8 homeless shelter for families and to children who have lost a loved one due to gun violence. We're going to also hear a Christmas rap from Hakeem Hurt and his son, Prince Khalik, and Christmas music from I Hear Ya Records, the record label of legendary promoter and record producer Darrell Brooks. Why do I keep saying Brooks? Darrell Brooks, featuring the Serious Company Band and We Are One Experience Band. We gave you a little taste of their music last week, but we're going to bring you a lot more this week because it's the holiday season. It's Christmas. Why not? But first, we want to remind you to pick up this week's issue of the Washington Informer or read the digital edition, as you know you can, online at www.washingtoninformer.com. If you witness something that leaves you with a heartfelt impression, or you do something for someone out of the kindness of your heart, yet you don't mind sharing it with us, let us boast about you on Win TV. You are an example for others in the community. They're just trying to figure out, what can I do that might help someone? So your example, of course, reverberates across the community, and we can share that with others who might have similar thoughts but didn't have the guts to do it like you did. So we want to hear from you. Send us your video clip, a short note, a photo with your message, or just an email that we can share to let people know that even during this pandemic, there are people doing positive things in our community. And we know you're out there. So we certainly look forward to hearing from you and sharing your message and your good deeds with others. So now let's hear from Washington Informer reporter Hamil Harris.
That's what we deal with over here on this side of the water, a lot of sirens. But the Anacostia Coordinating Council, we see ourselves as an honest broker, bringing people together to be able to support those who are less fortunate. And there are a lot of children who are suffering on the side of the water. And Christmas means so much to so many people. And so many people on this side of the Anacostia here in Washington, D.C., they don't have all of the necessities. They can't meet. To have a celebration for their children, that they have things to give to their children.
Well, yeah, that's all right. Give me 1 second. That's one of the first toys I picked up. That guitar. It is phenomenal when you are able to go to a home that has very bad necessities, and then you can bring items to them and the children just, you can see how their faces light right up and everything. And it's so great that we can be partnered with the police department in doing it, because it puts the police in a different light. You know, when they're doing social service types of stuff, and I know that's not what they actually are in place for, but sometimes you got to show that our police officers are human too. Yeah, but yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Give me a second.
So, because this how I met Rico when he told me how far down he had gotten, and that he was sleeping anywhere, and a lady gave him a hug, said turned his life around.
So like you said, that little teddy bear for a child to hug somebody.
That's it. To have somebody to hug. You know what I'm saying? It you know, somebody to talk to, somebody to appreciate you. And that's what sometimes these toys are in the lives of children who are going through things. You know, one of the places we're going to go today, I don't know if Ms. Davis told you or not, but we're going to be going to the shelter.
What shelter is it?
So we're going to the shelter, I think it's Trinity Shelter, right? Over here in Southeast, and we're going to give some toys to some of the children there in that shelter who, you know, they wouldn't have a Christmas by virtue of the fact of where they are and the conditions that have led them to be where they are.
Kwanzaa, back when I was in undergrad. What year was that?
1966.
Exactly. Tell us what people need to know about Kwanzaa.
Yeah, so Kwanzaa, it's a holiday that basically, think of it as preparing us to go into the new year, right? So it starts toward the end of the year on December 26th and ends on January 1st. And there's the Nguzo Saba, which is the principles, the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. So every day has a principle, and these are principles that, for example, on the first day, Umoja, which is unity. These are principles that are essential to our community and the growth of our community, us taking care of one another, us building each other up, and moving through the year and each and every year after that. And so, and Kwanzaa itself basically means harvest, right? And so it's a time for us that we can come together, practice these principles, and, you know, as I mentioned before, lifting each other up, and just, I feel like it's essential to the times we're in as well. It was essential to the times where Kwanzaa was born, the times it was born into. And in this moment, when we see the protests and what the world has been witnessing that's been happening with our community and happening to our community, I feel like it's more important than it's ever been for us to practice Kwanzaa. And one of the other great things about it is you don't necessarily, celebrating Kwanzaa doesn't necessarily mean you have to stop celebrating what like, you know, Christmas or anything like that, you know?
Right.
So you know, it's not a religious holiday, it's a cultural holiday, and it's about community.
That's fantastic. And I want us to talk a little bit about the other principles. You mentioned Umoja, which is the first principle of Kwanzaa. Can we go down the list?
Absolutely. Don't threaten me with a good time.
I have backup just in case.
Sure. So the second principle is Kujichagulia, which is self-determination. And then after that, you have Ujima, which is, hold on, don't want to mix them. It is not
Collective work.
but collective work and responsibility.
Exactly.
And then after that is Ujamaa, which is cooperative economics. And then Nia, which is purpose. After that is Kuumba, which is creativity. And then the final one is Imani, faith.
Exactly. Those are, I think, really significant. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Substantial, because you think back to 1965, which was in the heat of the civil rights movement.
Absolutely.
And a lot of what we are seeing now is what we were seeing then. And then, of course, you know, just who would have thought? I mean, 3 years later, Dr. King would be assassinated and the whole country would erupt in flames. But the principles and the celebration mean a lot. And let me ask you what they mean to you. I mean, what does celebrating Kwanzaa mean to you?
It's celebrating Kwanzaa is celebrating us, right? Like, so, you know, I think historically there have been so many times that, you know, people kind of, the media or different outlets have tried to put out false images of us and paint our people as a monolith. And Kwanzaa is a great opportunity for us to celebrate the things that makes us great, our resilience as a people, the basically celebrate our beginnings, like who we were before our ancestors came here and who we are today. And so it just means so many things. And and really the word that comes to mind when I think of Kwanzaa is family. I think of the kids. Um, you know, uh, our children, because we are a husband and wife duo, our children like don't know what it means to not celebrate Kwanzaa. It's been a part of their life from the time they were born. And so, and they're the first generation in our families to be able to say that. And, I think of a major moment last year after last year's Kwanzaa celebration. We were exhausted, right? Because it was so much work, but it was so fun and so many great things. And when we got home, our oldest daughter said to us, she was like, hold up, so wait, when we were on our way home, she was like, wait, we left the Canara. Like we're not doing, I know we did the thing there, but we're not doing it at home. And that meant so much to me because she values it as much as we do. And that's what it's really all about, just taking pride in ourselves.
So I notice you have a beautiful Canara behind you with the candles. Can you just tell us the reason for the red, black, and green candles? And there is a way to light those candles. So talk about that.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So the red, black, and green candles symbolize the Pan African flag, right? And so the red represents the blood, the black, our people, the green, and the land. And so there have been, I've seen some debate, in terms of like how to light the candles. Some people just light from one side to the other. We typically start in the middle, lighting umoja, like by starting with the center candle and then basically working our way from one side to the other. And basically for me, what that symbolizes and what I was taught that it symbolizes is basically at the center of all that we do. And so, our people being in the middle as the black candle and starting from there and then moving from side to side. But again, I've seen it done, a few different ways. I've been to a lot of Kwanzaa celebrations. So
Yeah, that's great because I mean you're right. That's one thing about most holidays we add our own personal touch
absolutely.
to how we celebrate, and I think the most important thing is the fact that we're acknowledging it,
Yeah.
and you all are doing a great job with. So this is your second annual event.
Yes, this is our second annual event, specifically at this space as well. We had, because we're in Creative Suitland right now. Shout out to Creative Suitland. And yeah, we had the first event last year, and for years we've been celebrating, and we usually gather with family, friends, and different people in the community who we know who practice. Sometimes Kwanzaa takes place at someone's home. Other times we go to support different businesses and practice the different principles at those businesses and feel like those businesses are representations of that principle. But yes, this is our second event here, and last year was a big success and was very exciting. And we're thrilled to be able to do it again, even though it's virtually.
So Rachel, I really want to know a lot more about the program and what folks are gonna. You kind of gave us a broad outline of who's going to be performing or the performances you're going to have, but talk a little bit more about what you have planned.
Yeah, so the event will be hosted by, again, Stanislav Central Robinson, my husband, along with Brother Victorious, who is a Prince George's County educator, as well as owner of the newly opened Spizzy Smoothie and Teas. It actually opened at the height of the pandemic, right in the beginning when the pandemic began.
Yeah, we had a chance to have him on the show earlier, so we were really happy that business seemed to be doing okay, at least during the summer.
Him and his business. I mean, we're fortunate enough that they are one of our sponsors as well. His program, his business is thriving, and we're so happy for him. Some of the other things that we were featuring, unlike last year we were able to bring in local vendors to sell their wares here at the event. and I still wanted to be able to provide them with an opportunity to promote their business. And so what we're doing is we're providing them with an outlet in the form of a market, a virtual market, if you will. And so we've encouraged our vendors to return and to promote their business in the form of a promotional video, similar to like a commercial. So in between the segments of our program, you will see local artisans, vendors, small businesses who will be featured. And we will actually, one of the things that we're looking forward to by going live, virtually through YouTube, is that we'll have a live chat feature, encouraging audience members to literally chat if they have questions. We'll also highlight businesses by including their websites and their links so that we can promote their business that way.
Yeah, I said, I understand you have some of your, a couple of your performers with you, as well as Britt Barber, who is the program director at Creative Suitland. Tell me a little bit about Creative Suitland. I'd really like to talk to Britt if he's available.
So we have both, we have Malachi Robinson and Britt Barber, who will be here, who are our program director and director of Creative Suitland. And yes, they are here.
Okay, can we get them on?
Sure.
How are you, Britt?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, hey, couldn't be any better. I love Kwanzaa, and I'm glad that you all are having this great celebration. And at Creative Suitland, tell me what that is.
Creative Suitland, we are a new art center that opened on Central Prince George's County, right on Silver Hill Road, across from the Suitland Federal Center. We opened in February of this year, and almost a month to the day, we had to close down due to COVID. We have since taken our programming online, and while we focus on art, we also want to send a message of wellness, promoting health and wellness in our community, and now internationally with our new virtual audience.
So what kind of performances do you do there? And I know this Kwanzaa celebration is going to still be fine because you've had to pivot and do that on a virtual event. But what other things had you planned had COVID not gotten in the way?
I feel like we just had a super thriving first month of programming when we first opened in February of this year. We had skate dance classes. It literally began March 14th, and then the next day we closed the doors, which is booming within this community, local community in Greater Suitland. So that's something we had, from the start of this art center as a pop-up art center, and then we transitioned that into the official programming, so offering hand dance classes, I believe, 3 times a week. And then we were starting a partnership with PG County Park and Planning, where we were doing Family Arts Day on Saturday, because we are art center, so we wanted to at least offer something for families to do on Saturday mornings as it relates to visual art, graphic art, and maybe hands-on arts activities. So that's something that we're super excited to get back to, that some type of normalcy in terms of offering in-person programming hopefully in the near future.
How are you all funded?
We're affiliated with Joe's Movement Emporium, which is like our brother or sister or maybe parent organization. They've been operating for about 25 years. So we're part of the same organization, Joe's Movement Emporium, nonprofit. So county support, state support, and a lot of community and local supporters.
Wonderful. And do both of you all have backgrounds in performing arts as well, or are you natives of Prince George's County?
I'm a native of Washington, D.C., but the part that's right across the way from Southeast Washington, D.C. What's up? But we are both filmmakers.
Yeah, I grew up in Capitol Heights, which I guess you can say is part of the Greater Suitland community. So I grew up maybe about 2 to 5 minute drive from where we are now. So knowing that there's an art center here now, and knowing that we can reach students and kids and maybe even adults and seniors in a way that hasn't been done, I think that kind of just adds more to the vision of Creative Suitland.
Wonderful. Tell me your thoughts on Kwanzaa. I mean, I think this event is going to be it sounds great. You've put a lot of work into it. Your whole team has. But why is it important to do this?
This is our second annual Kwanzaa event at Creative Suitland. The last one was in person, and that was actually my first time celebrating Kwanzaa with a group. It's always been, and from my experience, just something I've always learned and seen, but I've never actually participated in. I've seen the Kwanzaa candles in people's homes, but I've never actually understood. So seeing it practiced live it really helped me understand the importance of Kwanzaa. It kind of clarified some of the misconceptions that I previously had of Kwanzaa, such as it's not necessarily a religious holiday, but it is all about principles. And it's definitely been something I would consider practicing in the future.
Wonderful. Brett?
Learn about Kwanzaa maybe like over the past 3 or 4 years. I participated in a Kwanzaa production, which kind of was like a take on the Nutcracker, but they flipped it to make it themed around Kwanzaa and to the principles, which is like super cool because that, different songs in the production, you learn about the principles and it kind of got instilled in my brain. So I've always had this understanding of what it was, but actually practicing it didn't really click for me. But this past year, I've been able to do my own research and just open my mind to what Kwanzaa is and seeing it in action. We've been pre-recording it over the past couple of weeks, and it just makes me more excited to hopefully make it a family tradition with my own family, being able to celebrate it and and just see where it takes me from there because I feel like it evolves every single year.
It does, no question. You have to think since 1965, it has definitely evolved. But the principles are all the same, and that's what makes it easy, to just pick up and start your own practice of Kwanzaa. I want to thank you all. You might want to bring other folks back into the camera, but I want to thank all of you all for joining us today, for getting us started on with Kwanzaa on this first day of Kwanzaa, which is tomorrow. And we look forward to hearing more about other performances that I'm sure that you're going to be bringing our way. So I want you all to, I hope you had a Merry Christmas, but especially have a great Kwanzaa. And thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All righty. Thank you. Thank you.
Merry Christmas to the Tech family.
From the Royal family.
You know, we just wishing y'all a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. This how we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it's Christmas time. All we doing is busting rhymes to feel the vibes. We be with family trying to have a good time. Even though we all apart, we can see each other face to face, Zoom calls, team meetings, Christmas carols, decorations, season greetings. Yeah, you know it's Christmas time. Yeah, you know it's Christmas time.
All I want for Christmas is a Lego set, remote control car, and some headsets, and some other things I ain't even said yet.
All I want the world to know is that I'm up next.
I've been a good kid, obeyed the rules, made a promise to myself.
Never lose.
That is why I choose, so I can stay in school. So Santa Claus, don't forget the new shoes.
Yeah, you know it's Christmas time. All we doing is busting rhymes to feel the vibes. We be with family trying to have a good time. Even though we all apart, we can see each other face to face, Zoom calls, team meetings, Christmas carols, decorations, season greetings.
Yeah, you know it's Christmas time. Yeah, you know it's Christmas time.
selfish man. So I'm offering my heart and soul and every single part I have to give of myself. Bring my gift. My love is what I bring to you tonight. Is my gift to you. It's that time of year.
That time of year again. Home for the holidays. Time for spades, red cups, sweet teas, and spiked lemonades. Walk up food looking like it's on a buffet. Let's get it. Hey, let's get it. We got food, got love, got cheer. It's my favorite time of the year. All year, can't wait to see her. A celebration every time that we leave up. No matter if you're Christian or you're Muslim or you're Jewish. When it comes to loving on your family, yeah, you do it. This is the holidays. So love the day, yeah. Over mama house, singing all the Christmas songs. That time, yeah. Walk in, yeah, showing all my cousins love. That time, yeah. Uncle Mike passed down on the couch again. That time, yeah. Oh, the weather outside is frightful. The crank is so delightful. All the kids are so excited to see all the gifts and presents under the tree. Celebrate with you and me. Lord said cheers, that time of year. Everybody come together. On the table, potato salad and a turkey wing. That time. And yeah, looking good with them collard greens. That time. Hit the stash, and you know we doing anything. That time. It's the best time of the year for me. When I get a chance to be around my family tree, I get a spark in my heart with my family around. Yeah. Send me a text when you're coming into town. Can't wait to see my cuz, you know how we do it. Cooking on the grill when the snow set the moon. Break the summer to the winter for the fam. How we do it? Let's get up, nothing new, man. I ain't seen you in the blue. We out here spreading love for show. Black Friday up early, waiting at the stove like the old show. You get it, oh. It's all about love and that's the #1 goal. It's something pure and I'm pretty sure that I ain't got a dime left, but I got gifts for you. Come closer, you got something for me. Then it's New Year's and you count down with me. Hey, singing all the Christmas songs. That time. Walk in, yeah, showing all my cousins love. That time. Uncle Mike passed down on the couch again. That time. Hey, let the beat ride, please. Hey, well if you spread love, you get love. Happy holiday to ya. The loved ones that we lost, you know that we love you. Always forever. Well if you spread love, you get love. Happy holiday to ya. Happy holiday. Happy holiday. Yeah. Man, let me tell y'all something. Ain't nothing like that holiday we gonna talk about. Man, I remember when grandma, mama, it was so easily come through that potato salad, my child. Man, the stuffing, turkey wings, candy yams, macaroni and cheese. Man, oh my God. Man, when they come through with the cabbage and look, mama, people say what they are. That she been preparing since November, potato salad, pound cakes, man. Put a little butter, tastes like butter. I swear to God, I'm so much glad I do it. Family. Ain't nothing like family. Ain't nothing like family. Keep it love. Keep it love. One more time. Here we go. Family's here. Family time.
Thank you for spending part of your Christmas with Win TV. Have a very Merry Christmas and enjoy the rest of your day. We will see you in 2021 on New Year's Day. We will be here with you where you can be a part of our show. Just contact our producer, Chevy Lassiter at Win TV. We want to know what your New Year's resolutions are, what 2020 was like for you, some of the lessons you learned, and some of the ways you overcame 2020, or some of the trials and tribulations you faced, not only as it relates to business, to the pandemic, but other things that may have happened in your life that you overcame, or ways, again, that you helped others. So contact our producer, Chevry Lassiter, at WINTV@WashingtonInformer.com. She'll share the details with you. Again, thanks for watching. Habari Gani. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Kwanzaa, and we'll see you in the new year.